What the hell are you doing with my father, Maya? Those words detonated in the grand marble foyer like someone had fired a starter pistol into a funeral. You know the type of silence I mean, where even the ghosts seem to hold their breath. Ethan Whitmore, all crisp lines and thunderous energy in his tailored gray suit, came charging across the floor, his leather shoes thudding out a beat that said, "Move or get mowed down." His blue, eyes usually cool, all business burned with something raw and reckless. And there I was, Maya William, half crouched on the edge of a leather armchair, one hand steadying old Mr. Harold Whitmore, who was slumped and glassy-eyed, the other hand clutching a water glass like it might save my own skin. For a half-second, nobody moved. You could hear every tick of the grandfather clock and the faintest rattle in Harold's chest. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" Ethan barked again, closing the gap. Harold tried to croak out, "Son, wait," but his words just sort of broke and scattered. Ethan didn't wait. "You think you could just touch him like that?" His eyes slashed across the room, pinning me there. "You think being the housemaid gives you the right to get that close?" My voice shook, but I managed. He was choking. I was giving him water. He said he felt dizzy. I was just, "Don't lie to me." Ethan cut in, pointing like he was delivering a verdict. "I saw your hand on his chest. You're an opportunist, aren't you?" "Ethan, please," I started, taking a step back, hands up, feeling suddenly very small. "He's been like a father to me. I would never." "Oh, that's rich," came a voice that could freeze boiling water. Camilla Whitmore glided down the staircase in her silk robe, wine glass dangling from her fingers, a smirk hiding behind her perfect mask of concern. "I've been warning you about her," she said, smooth as cream. Whispering, "Taking liberties now, you see it yourself." "That's not true," I fired back, but my voice was just a pebble tossed into a storm. "Oh, save it," Camilla snapped, waving me off. "We know what this is. Poor little girl from South LA gets her claws in an old man, hoping for a slice of the pie." And that's when it all snapped. Ethan stepped forward so fast he surprised even himself. His palm cracked across my face, a sound that slapped the house awake. I stumbled, pressing my hand to my cheek, the taste of salt and shame blooming on my tongue. Harold let out a moan, small and wounded. Ethan's voice was a whip. "Try earning respect, Maya," instead of crawling into my father's lap. I gasped, "Please, you don't know what's happening here. I've seen enough. Pack your things. Out. By sundown." For a second, I thought my knees might buckle. Then, in the quiet that followed, I dropped. "Please don't do this. You think you're protecting him, but you're not." Camilla yells at him, locks him in his room, pours wine down his throat just to keep him quiet. "Ask him. Just ask, that's enough." Camilla snapped, sliding between Harold and me, her smile flickering into something darker. "Ethan, let's get your father out of here. Let's go to the lake house, away from all this toxicity." They left me kneeling there, heart pounding, face on fire, my dignity leaking out onto the marble floor. I watched them disappear and thought this is what it means to be erased. But just as the doors clicked shut, Harold twisted back, reaching for me. His mouth worked, but no sound came. My throat tightened, something inside me splintering. Sometimes the truth doesn't knock. It bleeds. When the house finally settled, Camilla came at me hard. She yanked my hair, hissing threats if I ever spoke to Ethan again. She'd drag my name through the mud. She meant it, too. I'd seen what she could do with just a whisper. When she was done, she spun away, the click of her heels trailing venom in the air. And then the house came alive with rumors. Staff whispering she tried to seduce Mr. Whitmore. You know, always so quiet, so good. I heard every word, but let them fall. I left through the back, collapsed on a bench. Let the tears finally come, not the quiet kind, but the kind that hollow you out. As the sun set, I sat in my battered Civic, bag packed, cheeks stinging, staring at that house, its windows glowing, so full of secrets. I should leave. But Harold's voice echoed in my mind. "You were the only one who saw me. If I go, who protects him?" So I went back in. Side entrance, quiet steps, staff gone. I found the security room, remembering where Natalie said the spare key was. I sat, heart pounding, rewound the cameras. There it was, Camilla pouring wine down Harold's throat, screaming, dragging him by the arm. I copied it onto a flash drive, hands shaking, and turned to leave right into Ethan. "What are you doing here?" he demanded. I held out the drive. "Proof. Your wife's abusing your father, stealing the estate." He stared suspicious, but took it. "Watch it. Ask yourself why he keeps crying when no one's looking." The next morning, the air in the Whitmore house felt lighter. For the first time, sunlight seemed to reach the corners. I brought Harold breakfast oatmeal, fruit, tea, dignity in every gesture. He looked better already, color back in his cheeks. "You saved me, Maya." I was fading not from age, but from loneliness, from fear. I almost cried. No one should be afraid in their own home. Ethan came in no suit, just jeans and a soft shirt. He said, "Maya, I want you in charge of his care. You answer only to yourself." I studied him, not sure if I believed it. "I'll stay if Harold wants me." "I'd fire my own son if he didn't," Harold joked, and for a moment, I actually smiled. Days later, after Camila was let out in handcuffs, scars still aching, but house finally breathing, I found a leather journal hidden in the library. Camila's. Pages full of venom, but in the middle, the deed to the southern vineyard, hidden under the floorboards. The next morning, Ethan and I pried up the board, found the deed, and the truth landed heavy. Camila had been rewriting history, trying to erase Harold's wife, Ethan's mother. We took the deed to the vineyard, the real deed, and for the first time, Ethan looked at his family's land with something like humility. At the vineyard, golden hour burning across the fields, we walked Harold, Ethan, and Minute as master and servant, but as people bound by truth. "Thank you," Ethan said. "You brought this back." "You just stopped looking," I told him. He nodded, and in that soft moment, something shifted. But peace wasn't a finish line. A letter slid under my door. "Careful. Not everyone wants the truth." Someone on staff had stolen estate records, tried to hide them. Even the old garter Jerome, it turned out, had his reasons. "You think cleaning house means scrubbing every corner. But some things are better left buried," he said. I disagreed, but I took his warning to heart. Justice, I realized, isn't about burning it all down. It's about knowing which wounds to let heal and which to lance open for the light. And the truth kept unfurling. With the old gone, we changed everything. New policies, new voices, a staff dinner where titles didn't matter. I was named director of personal care, finally seen, not as a servant, but as someone whose voice mattered. For a second, I almost believed I belonged. The trial loomed. Gregory Shaw, Camila's old DC fixer, tried to muscle in, but we had him dead to rights. Testimonies, documents, old pain turned into action. The court saw what the world had ignored. That power hides behind silence, but it can't outlast someone who just won't sit down. The verdict was guilty, all counts. The estate at last belonged to truth. After the dust settled, after the press and the boardroom battles, Ethan stood with me in the garden. "You know," he said, "I didn't see who you were that day. Not until it was almost too late." I smiled, tired but honest. "You saw what you were trained to see, but you looked again. That's what matters." He handed me a key to the South Tower suite, me own space, not as staff, but as a part of the legacy. "You sure the walls are ready for me?" I joked. "They've been waiting," he said. In the months that followed, the house filled with light. Harold laughed again. The vineyard blossomed. I walked halls once haunted by secrets, now humming with new beginnings. We opened a community center, launched scholarships. Every change, every challenge was a step toward making this house into a home not just for a name, but for everyone who ever thought their voice was too small. One day, a girl stopped me in the hall. "Are you Maya William? My grandma said you changed everything." I knelt and told her, "We stand because others held us up." And I realized that was the truth. Justice isn't a moment. It's a movement. It's a voice. It's every hand lifted, every lie dragged into the sun. So, tell me, would you have done if it were you? Would you have stayed silent or spoken out, even if it cost you everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what justice means to you, or if you've ever been the voice nobody wanted to hear. Let's talk. This house is finally awake, and maybe, just maybe, it's time we all woke up with it.